sweet all up a minute. I think that I'm feeling sick from all this automatic driving to your house. I'm gonna die in LA traffic, watch me crash my fucking car into your couch. Don't wanna finish up this episode before you cut me out.
That's so fucking cause it's dead. Please don't walk cause I'm way down.
I'm still done cause I'm way. You can never take me. I'm just living life, I guess a bottle wouldn't break me. Thinking about 1,000 reasons why you probably hate me. And if you pull up, I'll be your biggest fan, shoulda, coulda. I'm thinking about the past and if I woulda even stood a chance when your foot was on my dash. No, it only made me crash, I know I shoulda. And be your biggest fan, shoulda, coulda. I'm thinking about the past and if I woulda even stood a chance, then I know I shouldn't ask, but I really was.
Guys, I thought I would start a new vlog. Don't mind the hair. I am currently getting ready. Really excited. Today we are marking off one of our bucket list things. James, one of his picks, which I would have picked it if he didn't, was to go to the Hot Air Balloon Festival, which is like an hour away from us where we live. So I'm super excited and I cannot wait to go today. I've never been, so it'll be a new experience for all four of us. So I don't really know what to expect. It may just be like a place with just like a bunch of vendors and like nothing really like too different that we've done before, but I'm just excited to go see them. Apparently they do like tethered rides, so we may do that. Hopefully we can do that, but either way, I am excited to just go and see them, and the boys are excited. I have been using this blush like every day. I love it so much. It is like the serum blushes from M Cosmetics, but this is the shade Venetian Rose. It's so pretty. But I wanted to start a new vlog because this week I don't really know what all I have planned. Like this was like our big like thing we were excited for because it's a bucket list thing. But I am more than anything excited because I'm wrapping up some reads right now, and then I'm going to be jumping into some fantasy books this week. I am so excited because if you guys have been watching any of my vlogs recently, I've just been in the mood for some fantasy reads, and I've dabbled a little bit here and there, but I feel like I haven't got my fill yet. So I'm going to be reading, I think it's like A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. It's like her series. I borrowed all 3 books from the library, and I think all 3 audiobooks are on Scribd. So I'm going to be listening and reading to that this week. And V.E. Schwab, the author, is actually doing a read-along on her YouTube channel. So I was like, you know, perfect time. She has a new series coming out this fall that I think is like a continuation of maybe, I don't even know if it's like a continuation or just like some of the characters or maybe some of the things that have happened, and these 3 books are going to be mentioned. So I really want to read these 3 before that comes out. But I have read one of my favorite books, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, is by V.E. Schwab, and I love that book so much. I will always like rave about that book. But I've also started the Villains series. That might be what it's called. I don't know, but it's Vicious. I've read Vicious. I haven't finished that series, and I miss it so much because it was like one of my favorites. Like I loved the characters so much that I need to go back and revisit that and read that one too. But I just thought it was a perfect timing for this one because of the read-along and stuff going on her channel. So I'm going to try to catch up with all of them and watch her videos that she has out. She is such a phenomenal like author though. I love her work so much. I also picked up the first book from the Wayward Kids. I think is what it's called. I cannot think of the author's name. Something McGuire, I think. I could be wrong though, but I think it's Every Heart a Doorway, maybe. I've heard amazing things about this series. It's been out for a while. I'm just new to it, but for that like fantasy element, I've been wanting to read it for a while. So I picked up the first one so I could kind of like try it out to kind of see what I think before like continuing the series, because I believe there's already like, I want to say like 9 books out of it. It's a pretty long series, but the books are pretty short. So yeah, I'm gonna try that this week as well. And then I also am going to be starting the Dark Tower series. Finally, I'm gonna be reading the Gunslinger. Maybe start the second one. I don't know. I don't want to put too much on myself this week, but I'm just excited to be reading some fantasy books in general. But I think there was also, yeah, I rechecked out What Moves the Dead by T. Kingfisher. So there's a little bit of fantasy to that too, I believe. And then also The Wishing Game by Meg Schaefer, I think is how you say it. And I think that's fantasy too. So I have a lot of picks for this week. I'm excited, but I'm gonna finish getting ready. And then I'll try to vlog some stuff from the Hot Air Balloon Festival.
I've been thinking about topics to talk about, to sort it out and make it right in my head. Now that it's been longer, know that I was wrong for thinking that you always had a place in my. Is this what I had in mind?
25 million missed calls, my hands are shaking with
Guess that I found my pit. God, I hope you take me. I'm just living life, I guess a bottle wouldn't break me. Thinking about 1,000 reasons why you probably hate me. And if you pull up, I'll be your biggest fan, shoulda, coulda. I'm thinking about the past and if I would've. If stood a chance when you flew with summer dash, it only made me crash, I know I should've. And be your biggest fan, shoulda, coulda. I'm thinking about the past and if I would've. Silence and between words I try to tie in a text and a call and a drive, and on top of it all you were right, I was wrong, you were right. Maybe I'm tired, I've been putting on my knees. Should've cared around some text and call you tomorrow. We can talk through it all, pick me up and fall, pick me up. Sorry about that text you got, I didn't ever mean to send it. So you got me in my feelings, also fuck autocorrect. And I've been doing fine except the stabbing pain up in my chest. And I'm stuttering, okay, I'm done. But now you're gone again. I'll take all your issues, you can have my friends. I don't miss seeing, I miss you on my phone screen. Now I save the tissues that you bought me from a nosebleed. I don't think about you, but it don't sleep. Gone again. I'll take all your issues, you can have my friends. I don't miss seeing, I miss you on my phone screen. Now I save the tissues that you bought me from a nosebleed. I don't think about you, but it don't sleep. Summer days, don't miss your taste. Got in the crawl space, wanna break, still see your face. I just don't wanna be a missing case, walking in place. Keep up with my pace, stay awake, stay awake. That's what they all say.
I'm shot, really raw. What you wanna scream about? Iced out metaphor, cause you wanna bite back. Know you got it in me, but my comments ain't like that.
What you wanna talk about?
What you tryna get at?
Lyrical on the boat, miss my RT. Hit 'em all like a joke, man, it's all I fear. Catch 'em all, fuck 'em all, it's a bright idea. Never heard a ringtone, but now you're gone again. I'll take all your issues, you can have my friends. I don't miss seeing, I miss you on my phone screen. Now I save the tissues that you bought me from a nosebleed. I don't think about you, but it don't sleep. Gone again. I'll take all your issues, you can have my friends. I don't miss seeing, I miss you on my phone screen. Now I save the tissues that you bought me from a nosebleed. I don't think about you, but it don't sleep. Summer days I don't miss your taste, but summer nights fall on my face. It's alcohol without all the chase. I get away without a heartbreak. You in the city, you're out of state. Chase you from out, but can't keep up pace. I left your backpack with your phone on the staircase.
Hey guys, so I know the elephant in the room is my hair. I have not really shown you guys like a proper like sitting down talking type of reveal, but I didn't really do much yesterday, but I did read. I'm still reading Monstrilio and Over My Dead Body. I'm trying to like finish those two up from like last week, but I'm also starting the A Darker Shade of Magic from V. Schwab this week. So I've started the first book. I'm enjoying it so far, but I'm about to go to the library and drop some books off. Since I finished Mother Thing in my last vlog, and then I think I also wrapped this up, Whisper Down the Lane, in the last vlog as well. Yeah, go check it out. Isolation. This is a horror anthology, and I liked it, you guys. I was reading it. I think I read 2 stories, and I was gonna like check in and like read the whole thing. This was a bonus like book for the month of one of my book clubs. So I was gonna read this last week whenever I was reading like to catch up on like book club picks, and it was like an extra book for January. If we were in January, I would have been on board with this. It would have been so good. It's an anthology horror one about isolation, being isolated, tons of different settings. The first one involves a girl like going back home, and she is staying with her mom, who is kind of like snowed in and is very isolated in her home. I think it's like in Alaska or something. Where they go through times where to get to like their small town, they have to drive like a snowmobile, and she feels very isolated out there, and she just sees like how mad her mom has went with being so isolated. Then the second one is about like this guy like finally getting out there and like making friends. The first one was by Allison Littlewood, and then the second one's Mark Morris. Friends for Life is about a guy who I think just recently is grieving the death of like his mother, and he starts kind of getting out and mingling with like this like almost like self-help, but it's like meeting friends pretty much, and really is enjoying the time with them, whatever. Then he's invited by one of them to go back to her hometown for this like big extravagant like festival type thing that they do, and it just turns a little weird. But it just kind of like covers isolation as being like a person and kind of being a little desperate to have that friendship with somebody and be willing to kind of like do anything type of vibe. Writing style was great. They were very, very interesting, but I just felt out of place reading it right now because I'm not very isolated. I feel like this is a really good read for like actually this vibe. So like the dead of winter, or you're snowed in, you're iced in, that type of vibe, where I would absolutely love to read this then and just kind of like set the mood, set the vibe. Where right now summer's starting and I'm like getting out every day in the sunshine and everything else. I'm like, I just can't set the mood for this one. So I'm going to return it with these 2 today and pick up 2 books that are on hold for me that I plan to read next week. So yeah, thought I would at least check in. I did read 2 of them, and then I just was like, you know what, this is a good stopping point. Yeah, it is what it is. But so I'm about to go pick up books, drop those off. Hopefully I can show you guys my hair some more throughout the week. It's pretty vibrant, and I also have my fake tan on, which is kind of hard. I'm fair, you guys, so there's a difference to me, but it may be not really picking up on camera too. But I'm also dressed and ready, well, in like a baggy shirt, biker shorts, my tennis shoes, because we are going to go back to the cemetery today, and the boys are going to bring scooters this time. I'm going to get my steps in because I've been doing really good getting my steps in lately, and I'm loving it. I'm not loving the situation of this house right now that I'm working on, you know, but yeah, I need some sunshine. I need a little bit of a break. So we're heading out to go get some steps in, get some books. A little detour because we spotted the ice cream truck. You excited for some ice cream? Can you show it to me?
I got an M&M cookie.
Awesome.
Stop staring, be quiet. Look at me, there I go, choking on my silence. And I don't think you want me cause I wanna keep it private. And I don't think you know me if you're not one of my 5 friends. But it's my own fault, I can't give in. I have to go, stuck up on the top floor. Interest in my grab though, not too many kind folks. The reason I struggle because I'm fucking shy. I never wanna show my face sometimes. And I got trouble looking people in the eye. Cause when I do I just forget off. And when I do it I'ma feel like I'ma die.
Okay, so literally horrific lighting, but this light on was like very like yellow, orange, and like there you just couldn't even see me. I haven't really checked in. I feel like my days have been kind of the same. So I did a lot of the things today that I did yesterday, and yeah, repeat. There's going to be like a lot of shifts because I've been finally getting ahead on some things, and I feel like I'm actually getting to a point where I can start like posting things again and staying consistent with things. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like really good. Like I feel like I'm really like on top of things right now, and it feels nice. I have like one more vlog to edit before this one, so I can actually start like rolling all of those out. I literally have maybe 50-ish pages left of Monstrilio, if that. I'm still enjoying it, but it's just been kind of a slow process. I feel like I'm not in a reading slump. I just haven't found a whole lot of time to read right now since I've been trying to catch up on everything, doing a lot of laptop stuff. But I went walking again. This is the second night in a row that I've went to the cemetery not far from us and walked because they have like amazing like little walking trails. So I'm getting my steps in. I'm feeling so good, and it feels nice to just kind of like be getting back at it. I'm also contemplating starting, and I might regret this, but starting 100 Days of Makeup again on my Instagram, just to kind of like ignite that light again and like that creativity with like makeup and beauty stuff, because every time I go in my space and I look at like all of my beauty stuff, like I want to plan it, I want to do more looks, I see looks, I'm inspired, I want to create them, but I never just put the willpower forward to get creative. So I'm thinking about like pushing myself with 100 Days of Makeup on my Instagram to bring that passion back. Maybe experiment, see, it might just burn me out completely. I don't know. But since I've been working out and stuff and like sweating a lot, I thought I would do my favorite mask from Ulla Hendrickson while I get some reading done. I am like, I think on part 4 of this now. And then after I finish this part, I can actually watch the first video on V. Schwab's YouTube for the read-along. So I'm almost to that point. I'm enjoying it so far. I can't remember if this is YA or not, but it's been interesting. I just hope it picks up a little bit more for me, but I am liking it so far. I really like her characters a lot, and I feel like I can attach to them very easily. That's the plans for now. I'm also currently obsessed with Harvest Snaps. So good. I absolutely love these. I think just like eating healthier recently. I've been making like more like plant-based food for lunches again, and then for dinner just kind of like eating our regular meals, but like still trying to be a little bit more like healthy with it. We had leftovers tonight from last night's dinner. I made like a spicy like ground pork taco situation with poblano peppers, and it was really good. Some pico and like this sour cream sauce. Our neighbors are walking and she sees them. But yeah, I'm gonna read some, mask, relax a little bit, and drink some more water, because my water intake has been great too. So yeah, I thought I would at least check in because I feel like I've been leaving you guys hanging the past couple of days, but hopefully things will pick up a little bit. I do have some cookies I want to make this week that I'm interested to see how they turn out. And we also got stuff to make homemade pizza. So I'm excited for that night too. I just don't know when yet.
Stay inside with the lights off. Text before you call me because leather wasn't meant fall through any social, but I had it so well. The crowd's getting loud, I'm a vibe in the stairwell. Cause it's my own fault, I can't give in. I have to go, stuck up on the top floor. Apologize, cause my goodbyes. Let's reschedule when I'm not shy. And I don't wanna show my face sometimes. And I got trouble looking people in the eye. Cause when I do, I just forget all. And when I do it, I'ma feel like I'ma die. There to share my story. If you hear this song, no, it's not you, it's me, I'm sorry. I don't wanna be the reason why you make this little lie. What's the point of having pointless conversations for one night? Cause I'm shy, I never wanna show my face sometimes.
Hey guys, I'm gonna touch up my lip. I'm using a Revlon Color Stay. This is one of their matte light crayons. I love these so much. Just got done eating. I love these so much, but I usually have to wear these my day-to-day life because they sent these to me, but there's no names on them, and I've looked up the names. I think this one is Souffle All Day. I love it. It's just like a perfect like go-to day-to-day shade for me, but since I'm not 100% sure, it's really hard for me to ever recommend these or be like, yeah, get this shade, because I don't want to like send you guys for the wrong shade. But it's kind of like a nude, like a dark nude brown shade. Anyways, a few updates. I don't want to be here forever because I know I'm towards the end of this vlog, hopefully. I've just kind of continued this vlog over to the next week because I left you guys I think on Thursday or Friday of last week, because I've been like multitasking, like multi-filming, if you will, another vlog. So stay tuned because I did vlog this past weekend. We did some fun things. I celebrated midsummer and made a flower crown and all of that. So yeah, stay tuned for that or check it out if it's already up and you're catching up on my vlogs. But it was also a readathon, Sun's Out, Books Out, I think is what it's called. And yeah, it kind of went a little off the rails for a little bit there, but I had to switch up my reading a little bit, and I started reading like some romances that are just kind of mid for me, if you will. Some not so bad, and then others that I DNF completely. I'm not saying DNF. I don't want to use that term, but didn't finish, but I may come back. But little sneak peek if you're interested in a couple of the books, but I won't tell you which. You got to go check that vlog out. But I'm back in the state of mind of wanting to read fantasy. I actually never stopped because I actually paused during that weekend readathon and read a whole fantasy book. Because I need a little bit of a break. I don't do good at reading romance back to back to back anymore. So yeah, I guess this is where I'm at. I'm going to, I guess, vlog some more this week on this one because I'm still reading fantasy. I still have a few to get through, but I did want to talk about Every Heart a Doorway. This is by Shannon McGuire. But I've heard such good things about this, and I actually have a couple of booktubers that I've seen do videos on these, and I've watched some of them, but then I think it was Kayla's from Books and Lala. She read all of them and did like a video full of spoilers. So I'm like, I can't watch that video until I read these because they've been on my radar, you know? So I started it. Finished it. Mind you, it's under 200 pages, so it's pretty easy to do, and the writing is so captivating. I just loved it. But I did kind of jump around a little bit. I read like the first half just physically, and then I did see that the audiobook was available on my Libby, so I just snagged it and listened to the last half today when I got ready. So yeah, I was able to finish it and I really like it. This is a series, so it's a continuation. It is something where you're going to have to be able to bite off a lot, because for me, I feel like I might have just bitten off more than I can chew, because as you guys know, I have started A Darker Shade of Magic, this series. I also am still reading the Vicious series, which now that I've started this one and I've started reading it, I think I'm going to try to finish this like trilogy and then go back to Vicious and maybe reread Vicious and the following books from that. V.E. Schwab is one of my favorite authors, so when I seen that she posted like a sneak peek of like her upcoming books, you guys sometimes get updates from it in my stories on Instagram if you follow me, but I'm so excited for the new books coming out under her, and I can't wait. But this one, it's hard to explain it because I feel like I might give a lot of it away. It definitely is character development. You kind of have to follow along with them because each book in the series is what I've gathered from it. I am pretty new to this, you guys, and I tried to go in as blindly as possible because I just wanted to experience that. But the Wayward Kids are kids who, at some point in their life, a door happened to just be there and they walk through it and they pretty much like walk into a world where they're destined to be or where they're complete opposite, not supposed to be. And they've somehow made their way back to Earth, or they're here where they were at originally. God, if I can talk tonight, you guys. But some of these kids like hated it. It was so terrible, so bad that they were sent to like a home to try to forget about it and kind of like cope with it. And other kids are sent to Eleanor, the Wayward Kids, to, it's almost like they're grieving that they're back here and not at their place that they now call home. They miss it so much and they're so upset that they had to leave their door. So each of them have like different worlds that they went into. So you learn a little bit of that from each character, but we learn the most about Nancy, the one that it focuses on, and her time and her door. And yeah, it's kind of like unsure, like if you can go back to your doors again, and it's a lot. It's very fantasy, but we're being introduced. It's a good introduction, this book is, to a lot of the characters that's going to follow. There's twins in this that are at the house, and I believe the second book follows them, and I'm so excited. I cannot wait. Yeah, I wanted to go ahead and check it out from my library, but I wasn't able to see if it was there today because we were busy with something else. But yeah, I'm gonna have to put a hold on it because I need to pace myself, but I cannot wait to read the next one. And it was just so good. Writing style, the characters were so interesting, very diverse. I loved that about this. It's very, very well done, in my opinion. And I do kind of get a little bit of, so this was 2016. I feel like that was before its time when it comes to like writing the way that this author writes. But on top of that, I just have to say, like, it's done in a very, I feel like, good way, to where I still felt like this book could really be young adult. And maybe I don't think it is. I actually want to say this is adult, but I feel like it could kind of go either way. But I don't know. We'll see how it goes. There is some gruesome bits and disturbing scenes and kind of talk about things. But besides that, I felt like it was just really well done, where I feel like teenagers, young adults, probably even preteens. I feel like when I was a preteen, I would have loved reading something like this. I just think it's really cool. 5 stars if you couldn't tell already from that. And now I am going to be heading back to my Londons in A Darker Shade of Magic. I am still, well, my bookmark fell out. So I want to say I am I have the audiobook for this one as well, so I have been listening to the audiobook while I was like baking and stuff this past weekend. It's on Scribd for me, so let me go back to see where I'm at. So I'm on chapter 5. It says, okay, I think that's part 5. This is split up into parts, and then the chapters are within the parts. So I'm on the Blackstone part 5. And so I'm a good chunk of the way in, but there is definitely a lot to go. And I've kind of held off from this book since the last time I talked to you guys. So I'm excited to jump back into it. I know that V.E. Schwab, or Victoria Schwab, has been posting more episodes of the read-along on her YouTube. So yeah, I'm jumping back into this one now. I'm gonna listen to a little bit of it tonight while I cross-stitch, and then hopefully by tomorrow I'm up. I forgot what part it's to. I think it's to like part 9 or part 10 maybe, but don't quote me on that, until I can watch the second read-along video. So I'm excited to get back into this. I really am. Besides that, you guys, I did make a trip to the library. I got my bag right here. And I had to drop off a lot of books, but I had some to pick up as well. But we went because there was a magician today. So there's a magic show, and the boys had a really good time. It was really cute. But yeah, we went and watched that and came back home, and we have been making pizzas. It has been make your own pizza tonight, and so the boys had a lot of fun with that. I will definitely show you guys our pizza, and we all were rating them, and the boys' pizzas were 10 out of 10 for them, and then they tried ours too, and I believe they gave James's chicken fajita pizza a 9.6 out of 10, and then my pizza I seen on Instagram, it looked so good, you guys, where you do brie cheese with caramelized onions. I threw a little bit of poblano peppers, and then also you roast garlic like in the oven. I had to roast my garlic for like 40 minutes. It was like a long, big ordeal. And yeah, it was delicious. So, so good. I am stuffed, but they gave mine a 9.7, so I got a 0.1 point more than James, but it was good. I love doing make your own pizza nights. We do not do it often enough. It's been so long since our last one, so I was really excited to make pizzas tonight. Debating on if I should do a little library haul with you guys. I just know like this vlog is getting so long, so I'm just gonna be very quick, impromptu library haul. So I'm starting, once again, another series in fantasy. This is supposed to be dark horror fantasy. I don't know if I'm going to regret this or not, because I'm currently learning about the 4 Londons in this, and so the world building on that is like trying to like stay up with it. And then also like learning all the characters and trying to keep up with like all the doors and worlds they walk into is a lot. And then I'm like, sure, why not? Let's start Gideon the Ninth. And then I also have Hellbent, which is the second book from Ninth House that I really, really want to start too, because I said I was going to read that in April, and then I said I was going to read it in May, and now June's almost over, so I'm like, I have to read that. I have to know what happens to those characters. But I've heard amazing things about this series, so I am so excited to start it as well. This cover just like, I want to know more. It is YA, but I've heard really, really great things about this. And I've been noticing lately that some YA horrors actually work for me. And usually I look for like certain people who I know my reading kind of aligns with a little bit. And one of them, I forgot which one it was. One of them said that this one was actually really good. So I was like, okay. Well, I don't want to say who it was, because if it wasn't them, anyways, they recommended this author, and so they were really excited about this one because they had read one by her before. And I went and started reading synopsis of a bunch of her books, and I'm like, I want to read more. It's Kayla Cottingham, if you're interested. But some of her synopsises are like so good. I want to read more from her. Another book from a series that I have been trying to read to film, Every Summer After. I've never read anything by Carly Fortune, but I am excited to try it, and it's the summertime, so why not? So stoked for this one, The Drowning Woman. I believe it's a book club pick for this month or next month. I just can't remember which one of my book clubs it's for. And then I'm pretty sure I got the first hold on this. Ali Hazelwood's newest Love Theoretically, which I am really, really excited for. I know that I told you guys I'm like about like the romance books I've been reading, but Ali Hazelwood just always does it for me. I have one other like novella of hers. I don't have my books in here anymore, but I have one other like novella from her that I really want to get to too. It's in there on the shelf, but I bought like the book of 3 novellas, and I haven't read the last one in that yet. So I have that one and this one, but then I have read everything from Ali Hazelwood that she has like an actual, you know, book she's published. And then I think she has her first like YA, so like her YA debut in November, I believe. And I've actually been seeing that one advertised way more than this one that like literally just now came out. But I'm excited. I can't wait to see how this one is. I do like that we're seeing a little bit of a difference in characters, so hopefully that's like my only critique with her a lot of the time is that the characters are too similar, that I like to see a little bit more diverse characters, so I hope for that in this. But yeah, I will check back in with you guys hopefully to wrap up this vlog soon, but I know I want to get back into A Darker Shade of Magic. I also have the Gunslinger that was on the TBR for this video to get through, or this vlog, for fantasy and starting the Dark Tower series. So I don't know if I'm going to get to it or not, but I still have a few days of this week, so until the horror-a-thon starts. So yeah, stay tuned.
Trouble looking people in the eye, cause when I do I just forget I wanna do it, I don't feel like I'ma die. I never wanna show my face sometimes, and I got trouble looking people in the eye, cause when I do I just forget and when I do it I don't feel like I'ma die. Wait all up a minute, I think that I'm feeling sick from all this automatic driving to your house. I'm gonna die in LA traffic, watch me crash my fucking car into your couch. Don't wanna finish up this episode before you cut me out. I'm still done cause I'm way. You can never take me. I'm just living life, I guess a bottle wouldn't break me. Thinking about 1,000 reasons why you probably hate me. And if you pull up, I'll be your biggest fan, shoulda, coulda. I'm thinking about the past and if I would even stood a chance when your foot was on my dash. No, it only made me crash. I know I shoulda. I'd be your biggest fan, shoulda, coulda. I'm thinking about the past and if I would even stood a chance. And I know I shouldn't ask, but I really want you bad now. I've been thinking about topics to talk about. I sort it out and make it right in my head. Now that it's been longer, know that I was wrong for thinking that you always had a place in my. Is this what I had in mind? 25 million minutes, cause my hands are shaking with chills. I guess that I found my pit. God, I hope you take me. I'm just living life, I guess a bottle wouldn't break me.
So today is a casual masking, editing, and cleaning. I'm like in here organizing and stuff. But I was editing this vlog and realized that my outro either just like disappeared or I didn't do one. And there was also some like inconsistencies as far as like updating you guys on certain books and if I read them and that type of ordeal. So I thought I would do that now while I take a break, hydrate a little bit, and finish my masking because I was starting to get a little hot. So I did in fact finish Monstrilio. This was the book about the woman who lost her son. He was born with a certain like birth defect where he was only born with one lung, and they were told that like your baby is not going to make it. And then he lived, I keep getting the years mixed up. I can't remember if he lived to be 9 or 10 or 11, somewhere in that range. And that is when he passed. So the mother had heard a like old like folk tale of a person who lost like the love of their life, and they kept his heart and like fed it, and it turned into a monster that then turned into a man. And so this woman, mother, she makes the decision to take a piece of her son's lung once he has passed and feed it. And she tries to like keep it a secret, and then this lung grows to be Monstrilio. This book, you guys, was super entertaining, and I was just invested, you guys. I ended up, I think, giving it a 4, but I am now in the future, like, reconsidering and of giving it a 5. I feel like as I'm reading it, I think the Allie reading it was just like, yeah, this is a 4 for me. There was just parts that I felt like were unnecessary, but now circling back, I don't know, you guys, I may actually go back on like my Goodreads and like blog all of that and do 5 stars, because I have not been able to stop thinking about this book. Don't change ratings too often, but I think this would be an exception because, yeah, I cannot get this book out of my head. It lives there rent-free right now. But it's just, it definitely has jarring moments, but besides that, it almost reminds me of like literary fiction to an extent, and I think that's what maybe I didn't enjoy as much while reading, but now looking back on like how the story evolved, I appreciate. I just thought it was going to be more of like that horror element, where it definitely does have horror elements. Sorry, I have like one hair that's like, it's such a cool book. And the way it is written, there's, I think, 4 parts. So, like, the first part is, I keep forgetting her name. What's the mom? Margot? It's something like that. But the first part is in her, like, POV and how she is dealing with grief. And, the beginning of what is to come with Monstrilio. And then the second part is of the mom's best friend, and also like they have like some chemistry going on, but she works, her friend, I can't even think of her name, and I no longer have the book with me now, so like it would have been nice to film this beforehand, but she is a doctor, but she has like a thing for the mom, and they've been best friends for a long time. They were friends back before Margot, or however, I cannot remember her name for the life of me, but anyways, they were best girlfriends, and then one of them got married to the father and then had the little boy, and so she's kind of like always been there for both of them, and now she is friends with the mother and the father. So yeah, it's kind of like her POV and how her life is kind of being like intertwined with them, and what is now Monstrilio. And then the third part is the father's POV and how he is dealing with everything and adjusting to that life, and how maybe he doesn't adjust to it, and yeah, time is continuing to move forward, and we're seeing the life of Monstrilio, which leaves us with the last part, which is titled M, which is in Monstrilio's POV, which was really cool. Definitely has more horror aspects from that point of view, but it is just it just handles so much grief and very emotional things while also being, again, once again, like kind of just jarring in general, the whole idea of it. But super unique story-wise, and even like how it was written, I just think is just beautifully done. And yeah, like I said, I think it might go from a 4 to a 5 for me, because now that I've like really simmered on the rating, and I've read so many books since at this point of sitting down and doing this outro for you guys, and I can't stop thinking about Monstrilio. Moving along, I also finished the first Darker Shade of Magic, and I actually have not picked up the second one yet. Maybe in a future vlog you'll see that I finally get to it, hopefully, because I'm wanting to continue the read along, but I'm just going to have to go at my own pace. This book, you guys, is so good though. I definitely cannot wait for the next one. I felt like the only thing that was kind of like, ooh, to me was, I feel like it's really hard for me to start new series at this point. I think it's because I have so many series going, but you know, the first book is like that character building, character development that, you know, well, you kind of want more character development, but like it's like that character building, you're having to be introduced to everybody, it's kind of confusing at times, and on top of that, it's the world building and like just kind of getting like the layout for what is to come. But it's V.E. Schwab. If anybody can make that entertaining and just make it so fun, it's V.E. Schwab. So very, very enjoyable. I did give this a 5 out of 5, and so good. If you have not read any of her series, I don't know as of yet. I kind of feel like I need to wait until I get further into this, because I really do like these characters and I think it's going to be an amazing series, but I couldn't tell you if you should do A Darker Shade of Magic or Vicious. I think it's the villain series, because I loved Vicious. And I think first impressions on book 1 for first impressions of series, I would probably give it to the Vicious series and versus this one. But again, we'll see how both series kind of go. I'm just excited to read both of them in the months to come. But yeah, we meet characters, there's a lot of devastating parts, there's a lot of world building. This is the book I mentioned earlier on in this vlog about the 4 Londons, and pretty much we follow Kale, who is in Antari, and I feel like we're gravitating towards the possibility of having to go to Black London, which I may have mentioned doesn't exist anymore because it was so consumed with power, but it's kind of like there's a piece of Black London that needs to go back to Black London. So like Kel is gonna have to do that. So it's gonna be kind of like a journey going there now. Very fantasy and adventure. I mean, I'm in for a good time with this series. I really think so. But, oh, and once again, if you have never read this series, and you want to for the first time, definitely recommend reading and going along with like the read along. Or if you don't even want to read it, you can check out her read along on her YouTube channel, V.E. Schwab's, because she just pretty much puts it all out there. So it's been really entertaining hearing about the story from the author's like his point of view and why she wrote it the way she did, and yeah, all of that. Besides that, I have in fact started the Dark Tower, the Gunslinger, the first book, but I started it during the vlog you just watched, and I only made it almost close to the end of chapter 1, but it has been a couple of weeks since this vlog, now that I'm currently sitting down and wrapping up, and I have not picked it back up again, but I have found a physical copy of it while out thrifting, so I think that'll help me motivate myself to get back into it, and it definitely, current Allie, it's on my TBR to finish this month, so hopefully you guys will see that in the future too. But I did get through some fantasies during this vlog, and I really enjoyed editing this vlog, so I hope you guys enjoy it as well. But I did just kind of want to jump in and wrap it up and let you guys know where things went with some of the last books, I guess. But definitely started some fun series that I am excited to continue. I feel like there was no bad book this week, and yeah, stay tuned for some more. And if you guys have any good fantasy recommendations, maybe you've read some of these and you're like, okay, if she likes that, she'll like this, let me know in the comments. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching another vlog, and I will see you in the next one.